Je voudrais parler de cœur à cœur. I'd like to have a heart-to-heart talk with you, and you, and you, and you, and you, especially you. I'm not going to use my brain too much. I'm going to use my heart. And we have, this represents Republican voters, and the blue one represents Democratic voters. WinStar, I think this is called Étoile du Vin. That's perfect for the snowflakes among us. Okay, so this represents relatively equally. There are millions more in this pile, though. This represents I like the way the light works, where this is light and these are dark. I like that. I like that look. I'll keep it. To move my fat ass over to the side here so it still works. Just changing it. Okay, we'll keep it like this. This represents the 2016 election. And these are the people that voted Republican or voted for Donald Trump. These are the people that voted Democrat or for Hillary Clinton. And we know, don't go back there, we know that there were more of these in 2016 than were over here in 2016. But because of the Electoral College, as quite often happens, things get kind of screwed up. And the winner of the election becomes the one that got fewer votes. So let's just start with this pile, these piles. These represent all the millions. I don't have millions of dimes. I might have thousands of them kicking around here underfoot, but I don't have millions. So I'm using these to represent all of the voters. So what am I going to do with this? My thesis that I want to try to convey is I think more people that voted for Trump in 2016 changed sides and voted for Biden in 2020 than the other way around. Here's a Hillary voter. This person could be a Democrat, fully formed and close-mindedly Democratic, and whatever they believed in, no Republican, no matter, even if Hillary Clinton next time ran as a Republican, they would not change their mind. They're going to stick with Democrats regardless of who's on the ticket. The same thing for Republicans. Many Republicans voted for Donald Trump because he was a Republican. So those represent the dyed-in-the-wool, never changers. They're never Republicans. They're never Democrats. So they're always going to be the same. Now, what else do we have here? We have, maybe there were some people over here that were Republicans all their life, but Hillary Clinton being a woman, they thought, I'm tired of these men telling me what to do. I'm going to vote over here. And they did. They were Republicans all their life and they voted over here. Maybe there could have been Democrats that voted Democratic all their life, and let's say they love playing golf and they love Donald Trump's passion for golf, even though he says he's never ever going to golf again. He still loves golf so much that he voted over here. This guy here voted for him. He had voted Democrat all his life, but maybe he hates Hillary Clinton. There's all sorts of reasons to hate Hillary Clinton. I don't hate her. I don't love her, but I'm one of these people. I've always voted Democratic, and I probably always will. My father always voted Republican until I think Obama's first presidential run. He was too sickly to vote the second time, but I know he would not have voted for Trump. But he died sooner than the election. But he was always over here, and he moved over here at some point. So these always people are going to be, I admit that there's always going to be the always people. So I'm thinking of, it's hard for me to think back 4 years ago when he was running, because when he was running, I could hear him just as clearly as Lindsey Graham hears him now. Poor Lindsey, poor thing. He was harassed at the airport as he was walking on his hind legs to the terminal gate. His spine hadn't entirely grown yet, so he maybe had a forward stoop, and there might have been an occasion when his knuckles hit the ground, but his spinal cord was at least up to that point, and then it sort of got floppy. Here's his legs. And here are all of the mob who loved him 2 days ago and suddenly hate him now. Fickle crowd that they are, telling him to respect the vote, etc., etc. So where was I going with this? Lindsey Graham saw the truth of Donald Trump yesterday or the day before yesterday, where New Yorkers, New York City people knew what he was like for years. So they voted over here the last time. Anyway, I'm talking about the people who saw what this guy had done, promises he didn't keep. This person, who's part of that company in Indiana that made air conditioners or whatever they did, he believed this guy when he said he was going to keep their jobs. And within minutes of his being sworn in, the company moved to Mexico. So he's hurt. It's not his brain that is feeling the pain, it's his heart. Remember, we're having a heart-to-heart talk, not a brain talk, a heart-to-heart. So his heart is hurt. And he's that kick in the balls. We can think in so many different ways. We can think with our heart, we can think with our brain, we can think with our penis. This guy sometimes thinks with one over the other, but he thought with his heart. He got kicked in the balls and the heart by this guy and his boss. So he hates Trump because he lost his job. And this guy promised him he wouldn't lose his job, but he lost his job. And there might have been 2, or there might have been 3. There might have been hundreds of people from that company alone that moved, that are now thinking the next election, they don't want to vote for this guy again. They're not making up their mind now. They don't have a crystal ball. They don't know who's going to vote, who's going to run against Trump. He doesn't even know whether Trump is going to run again. So, but he's over here. He's moving away from this flock. Okay. Let's talk about the pussy grabbers, the pussy grabbies. There might have been people before this election that heard that tape and thought, oh my God, finally I can start grabbing some pussies again because our president can do it. There might have been a Democrat that's been Democratic all his life for whatever reason, but really likes grabbing pussies for some reason. I don't know what the attraction is there. You have to allow me my ignorance, but I guess people like to do it. And he might have, even though he voted Democratic all his life. He might have voted for Trump last time because of this pussy grabbing thing. Now, there might have been women, Democratic women, who suddenly got their pussies grabbed and they might have loved it, even though they were Democratic all their life. And now they've seen the light and they are over here now because of that. But if you can find the person over here that voted Democratic and likes their pussies grabbed, or likes to grab pussies, and that was the deal changer for them, let me know their address. I'd just like to send them a note. So, again, I think that as I'm describing these situations, think about the people that voted in 2016 that might change their mind. I'm trying to think of things that he did post. He made fun of disabilities, so I would think that anyone with a disability, regardless of whether they were Republican or Democrat, would have been so offended by that display of his that they wouldn't have voted for him in the first place, whether they were Republican or not. Let's say this guy that got fired from his air conditioning job, though, he's in the middle now. He doesn't want this guy. But he took his last nickel that he had and he invested it in some sort of stock that went through the roof. And now he's a trillionaire. Maybe he would believe that the stock market is important and he might go back over here. But I don't think so. I don't think that happened. It might have happened. Maybe some people became trillionaires, but I bet most of the people that became trillionaires were billionaires already and were in this pile. Okay, so I'm still keeping him here and his friends. What about people from Arizona that loved John McCain? They loved him. Even Democrats that live in Arizona loved him. I mean, he was when he was running against Obama, he said some very nice things that anyone with a heart, a beating heart, should have teared up about his opponent. He talked about his opponent in a rational, thoughtful, compassionate way. And he was loved, not only by Republicans, but by Democrats. And I would think that many Republicans, or many veterans of foreign wars, many prisoners of war, didn't vote for him the first time because of what he said. But the poor guy dies. Now, whether in 2016, whether John McCain voted for Hillary or voted for Trump, I do not know. But he's dead now. So his vote doesn't count the next time. But I would think that some people that love John McCain, that even voted for Trump for whatever reason, when Trump was kicking him when he was dead and buried, continued to diss him and blame him and call him a loser after he's dead. I bet one or two of these people said that's enough. Now, who over here, was there a Democrat that hated him so much, that hated McCain so much, that loved the fact that he was being kicked after he died, that moved over to this pile? Do you think that? I'm going to give you this guy. He doesn't have a spine either, by the way. So he and Lindsay are pals, but they shop at the Spines R Us store now. Well, he's bringing his back. He's having his removed. He's having a spinectomy. So again, think of what this guy did over the last 4 years, or what happened in the country over the last 4 years. Yes, rich people got richer, poor people got poorer. Well, what else happened? A bunch of young people turned 18. So I'm just pretending that these are the new people. Now we know that younger people are more likely to vote. These are all the new people. I'm mixing them up. They haven't voted yet, so they are here. More young people are more left-leaning than are right-leaning. So already this new pile of voters is bigger than this pile. While we're on that topic, or don't you agree with that? While we're on that topic, let's talk about the people that died. More older people tend to vote Republican than do older people vote Democratic. So there's older people over in this pile than over in this pile. By some amount. I don't know what the amount is. But the Grim Reaper doesn't care whether you're older, or whether you're Republican or Democrat, or even whether you're old or young. But the Grim Reaper is pulling people out of the population, and more of the people he's pulling out of the population are are Republicans, because there's more old Republicans than there are old Democrats. Add one more to that pile. I don't know what the numbers are. They're out of the running. Okay, so this pile is shrinking. This pile is gaining, or it's could gain. These people are still in the middle. What about other things? What about the COVID hoax, the COVID-19 thing? Okay, this guy said it was a hoax. Lindsey Graham said it was a hoax. Other Republican leaders said it was a hoax. Democrats saying it was real. And people that listened to them might have taken more precautions than the people over here. They wear masks. These go to Fort Lauderdale for spring break and breathe on each other and give each other COVID. And, I saw news of them, fake news. I saw news of them, saying that God will protect them and we all have to die sometime and blah, blah, blah. And they breathe everyone's exhaust on the beach, and then they go and play in traffic, and they stick their tongue in the light bulb socket and do all the other things that careless people do because God told them to. Oh, so some of these younger people, they're part of the dead. We've already counted them. The Grim Reaper. It wasn't just trucks and leukemia and cancer that killed old people. It was COVID. So they're already counted. I'm sorry, I got distracted. What about the people that I'm trying to think of what cancer that would be. Windmills. The sound of windmills gives you cancer. That's what this guy said. Now, what sort of cancer would that be? Ear cancer, eardrum cancer, cancer of the eardrum. Let's say there is such a thing. And let's say this person in the Democratic side has eardrum cancer, and she remembers having driven past a windmill on her way to Kenosha, Wisconsin. And she said, "Oh my God, finally someone understands why I have eardrum cancer." Or let's say there's no such thing as eardrum cancer, but she says, it must be the fact that I went there not because I smoke 5,000 cigarettes every day, but because of that. So she, gullible she, going to vote for him next time. Do you know this person by name? Are you that person? Send me a note. Write your address below, and I'll send you some literature. What about scientists? What about all of the stupid things he said that the laws of math and the laws of science are just turned upside down? Any scientist that was over here would just find it offensively. It would hit them in the balls, in the gut, and in the brain. All of their organs would be in their heart. All of their body would be so insulted by what the commander-in-chief are saying, and he's not. When he's questioned about it, he just blames the press or the Democrats or the windmills, so, but I would think any self-respecting doctor or scientist or teacher could not stay here, regardless of who was going to be running down here. I would think that they would be moving toward the middle, regardless of how many millions of dollars of stock they had. What about stock? What about, let's say I had stock in Clorox, and I see him talking about Clorox, being good, and suddenly the orders for Clorox go through the roof because all these people are buying Clorox to put over their breakfast cereal. Would I move over to here because my stocks are going up because of that? Or would this person say, that guy's an idiot? What do you think is the answer to that question? I prefer my Clorox neat. I like mine on the rocks with a twist. A twist with mothballs. I like them with mothballs. So I'm trying to still have it affect your heart, but it's hard because one's brain does compute to some degree. This person does have sense enough not to play in traffic or stick their tongue in the electric socket, but they lose their ability to think when it comes to having fun on spring break from college. I fear the coming generations. Okay, what else do we have? Who else can we talk? Oh, what about God? We talked about God protecting this person and this person from the virus. What about the preachers and the congregants of various churches who were offended to the core when Donald Trump and his minions tear-gassed peaceful protesters so he could hold up a Bible that he's never read more than the title of in his life for a photo shoot? Even Pat Robertson thought that was above and beyond. So I bet there are some of these people who believe in that particular fairy tale and moved over here toward the middle. Maybe there were 2 or 3 people that own stock in tear gas stuff and are also, no, there isn't. There can't be. I'm trying to imagine who would have thought that was a good thing. Bullies would have already voted for him because he saw him bullying other people, dead people. The bullies are already over here. They've already voted for this guy. Maybe there's a guy that accidentally bullied someone. He said something funny he thought about someone, and maybe he didn't mean to. Oh my God, this is kind of fun. Let me call someone else a stupid name and laugh. So maybe he went over here. Maybe this guy. I'll give you two Democrats that voted Democrat all their life suddenly thought bullying is fun, and I got a commander-in-chief that's bullying people, and I like bullying. I don't want to be counted, I don't want to be reprimanded for it. And while I'm at it, I can grab some pussy or whatever. Does this person exist? The one I just moved over there? Maybe, I don't know. But I have a feeling that this Republican that voted for Trump in the first time, maybe now the baby that they had at this hour is now a little older and is being bullied at school. Maybe they're being bullied at work over the last 4 years. Maybe they have a new boss that's making fun of them, and they know what it's like to be bullied. They didn't know before, but now they know. And they see him do it, and every time it happens, it hurts them in their heart. Not in their brain, in their gut. And I'm thinking these guts that people have are stronger than the brains. Because certainly brains isn't working here in this in this thing, because there's a lot of people that are not using them, I don't think, in this world. They're so set on the sanctity of this guy that they, he can shoot people in the middle of the street and get away with it. Right? I mean, I've heard people on TV say that. They'd vote for him again even if he did shoot someone. What about the people that use their brains for a living? The pundits, the George Wills of the world, conservative to the core, hate him. They might have voted for him, but they hate him now. And there's more than just George Will. There's people that work for him in the White House, people that work for him on TV, people that work for him that worked in the White House for, what did Scaramouche? Did Scaramouche vote for him back then? Probably. Did he vote for him this time? No. He's over here now. He's in the middle, because we haven't gotten this way yet, this far down yet. Now, people like Ted Cruz, who hated him before the election, before this one, and then ended up loving him. He had his spine removed, and it was brought to the Spine Restore. Somehow he had some sort of implant that kept him somewhat upright. Who am I forgetting? There's millions of people I'm forgetting. What about the people that work at Goya Soups when he was doing the infomercial on the Resolute desk for Goya? They might have worked here all their life at Goya. They might have been Democratic all their life, and they saw him hawking their product. Maybe they want to go over here. Maybe they want to do that. I love the free publicity I'm getting. So they went over here. Do you think this person exists? Or do you think this person is ashamed not to work at Goya because of this? I think more people are likely to stay here that work for Goya. But what about this person? This person works for Campbell's. This one works for Progresso. What about these two people? They voted Republican all their life. And they see this infomercial by a TV talk show host person, reality TV guy, hawking their competition. Maybe they're going to think twice about voting for him again. I don't know. Where am I wrong in this logic? Am I wrong? Or again, think of who voted for Hillary Clinton against Trump the first time would have changed their mind the second time. So now we're back. Now we're down here. We have, then we're coming up to the election, and we have a virus, a pandemic, or a hoax, depending. And these people are saying, the Democrats are saying, vote by mail. That's a way to vote safely. A lot of my neighbors in my building, almost all of whom are Democrat, they voted by mail, or they voted early. I didn't. I was afraid of that. I was afraid that Trump's post-off man general was going to, take the mail away. And what about the mailman over here? He's dissing the mail service. There must be 2 or 3 Republican mailmen that got pissed off by that. So, over here, let's talk about over here. A lot of these people, now it's toward the election, so a lot of these people voted by mail. A lot of these people, some of these people maybe voted by mail too. But more people over here voted by mail because that was safer than this. And this guy was telling you not to vote by mail. Oh, he did say you vote twice, which I think is illegal. So this person told them to wait until election day to vote. Don't vote by mail. So already, before Election Day, we probably have more people that voted for Biden than voted for Trump, correct? Can we agree on that? What about over here? These are the undecided people. Has anything happened over here that's made it better? I don't think so. Where people are dying, Trump is saying it's a hoax. It's a few cases. It's, inject yourself with, our attention span is like this long. And what else is that long, Mr. Trump? Never mind. Our attention span is this long, and we are moving. We hear what happened yesterday, not what happened last week. And he keeps on saying that this pandemic isn't real, or it doesn't make any difference, or inject yourself with the poison. It doesn't make any difference. Just pretend. Anyway, all of these people I don't think anyone, maybe this guy who, like Lindsay, doesn't have a spine and he goes back to what he knows best. So, and then these are the people that, okay, so which pile is bigger? Now I know that I wasn't using actual numbers. Oops, I didn't mean to put you over there. I wasn't using actual numbers, but I was using, we knew that this pile was bigger than this pile in 2016. Talk to your friends that, I mostly know people that are voted over here. I don't know that many people that voted here. So I'm not getting a fair sampling. But if I knew someone that voted over here, they probably know people that voted either way. You could ask them, were you convinced to vote Democratic this time because of Donald J. Trump's shenanigans. Some of them might say yes. I do know someone that did that. Show me anyone, give me their name right now, who voted for Hillary in 2016 and against Trump in 2016 and switched sides. One. Thank you.